What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching TF4 Talk. This is just a web series. We're talking about Transformers Age of Extinction. This is episode number 26, and if you guys saw my previous episode, episode number 25, I did my top 10 things that I didn't like about Transformers Age of Extinction, or top 10 things wrong with Transformers Age of Extinction. I did that list in episode 25. For those that didn't watch it, you can check it out. And like I said, at the end of that video, I told you guys that I'm not going to leave on a negative note. I'm going to leave on a positive note, and that is why I'm making this video, and that is why you guys are going to get my top 10 list of things that I do love about Transformers Age of Extinction. Alright, these are my top 10 favorite things about Transformers Age of Extinction. I enjoyed this movie a lot, watched it 7 times in the theater, and I just thought that there's a lot of things that I really do love about this film because while it is very, very flawed, there are a lot of Transformers elements and a lot of fanboy elements that really, really make me happy, alright? And I'm going to list you 10 of those things, with 10 being a very cool thing and number 1 being the best thing about it, okay, in my opinion. Alright, so here we go. We're going to start off with number 10, and that would be the KSI Raid. Now, some people might be thinking, like, what is the big deal about the KSI Raid? Like, why are people, like, talking about it so much, and why is it such a big deal? Well, the reason why the KSI Raid is such a big deal is because we're seeing a scene where the Autobots are working together, and not only that, we're seeing a scene where the Autobots are interacting in a human environment. Okay, a lot of the times when you see action sequences, they're interacting around for example, an opened area. All right, for example, like city streets, or in like the desert, or in a forest, right? But now you're seeing them perform an action sequence, or rather on a mission, in an exterior human environment, and that is inside an office building. I've never seen Autobots run through like a giant, like lobby area. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen anything like that, and that was awesome. I was like, wow, this is cool. All right, and not only that, they were destroying like a scientific warehouse, like a R&D area. You know what I'm saying? That's something I've never seen before, and I thought that was really, really cool. They were performing a human rescue mission. Okay. And of course, rescuing their buddies and destroying a lab. So, very, very cool. Something very new that's brought to the live-action Transformers universe. Number 9 would be something that was missing in the last 3 movies, and that was Autobot, or rather, Transformers or robot interactions. There was a lot of robot interaction in this movie. There was a lot of robot dialogue in this movie. Exchange of robot dialogue. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was great about Transformers. It wasn't like great dialogue, and it wasn't like interaction which really provided a whole lot of depth, but at least you got to see them interacting with each other the way they didn't interact with each other in the previous 3 films. A lot of those dialogue and interactions were more like one-liners, but here you got a little bit more back and forth and actual interaction. So that is something that I really enjoyed. Number 8. No Shia LaBeouf, no whiny Sam Witwicky and his hot girlfriends, or overly hot girlfriends, no Megan Fox, and no Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. Okay, so basically, I'm happy with the fact that there's no Shia LaBeouf. Now, not that I hate Shia LaBeouf or anything, but we've seen him in 3 movies. He was enjoyable. Like, I really liked his performance in the first movie, but then in the second and third movies, I felt that a lot of his whining, or I wouldn't call it whining, but his complaining, and that is, he's got legitimate reasons to complain, but I felt that it wasn't, like, big enough to really add to the human connection, alright? So, I'm glad that he's gone, okay? So, I'm glad that they brought in a whole new human cast, Mark Wahlberg being the strongest out of the 3 characters, but at least I'm glad that Shia LaBeouf is gone, okay? Number 7. An Autobot death that actually had meaning. Like, it served a purpose, and that is Ratchet's death. Okay? It actually served a purpose for the rest of the story. Okay? Lockdown is a very formidable opponent, and he's out there hunting Autobots. So therefore, there's gotta be an Autobot that has been hunted. Okay? And of course, KSI, they want to reverse engineer Transformers, and that is why there has to be an Autobot death. And not only was it a death that served a purpose, but it was also emotional. Okay, he was fighting for his life, and he was also sacrificing his life so that his comrades, the other Autobots, could stay hidden. All right, so it served a purpose, and I felt that this death was a lot stronger than a lot of the deaths that we've seen before in the first 3 films. Okay, number 6, aerial chase, or rather Droneship Chase. In the first one, we were introduced to a very, very short sequence where Starscream was intercepting some F-16s. Were there F-16s? The F-22s, rather. The Raptors. Okay? He was taking them out, and that was a really cool sequence. He transformed in and out of Raptor and robot mode. Very, very cool. Very, very short. Not enough of that. Now, the only other time that we've seen an aerial sequence was in the wingsuit chase, which I thought was awesome. That scene was awesome, but it didn't have any actual Transformers in it. It was guys in wingsuits and also drone ships, so no actual Transformers, okay? With Transformers Age of Extinction, we didn't get like an aerial chase done with actual Transformers with jet modes. Instead, we got more drone ships, but at least the drone ship was piloted by Autobots. So that was really cool. I felt that sequence was, like, as an action sequence, that was my favorite action sequence in the entire movie. I loved it, mainly because it was something different. No transformations took place, but at least there was Autobot interactions. It was exciting. They were flying through the city, and the 3D looked really cool. All right, so love the aerial chase. Okay, number 5. And it's not a sequence, it's not like an element about Transformers, it's just a character as a whole, and that was Hound, or rather Bulkhead. You call him whatever you want, but anyways, Hound has got to be, I can't say that he's my favorite, but I love what they did with him, okay? My favorite's actually Crosshairs, but they didn't give him enough screen time, okay? So a lot of the bulk, a lot of the bulk, no pun intended, went to Bulkhead. I mean, Hound, okay? It's essentially Bulkhead, alright? This guy is a warrior. Hound was never really a warrior in G1. He was like a recon guy, okay? And Hound isn't a recon guy in Transformers Age of Extinction. He is a warrior. He's got a lot of weapons, and Hound did the most of the work in the Hong Kong battle. He was unleashed. He pretty much destroyed all the prototypes until the Dinobots came out. Okay, but he was doing a lot in the Hong Kong battle. I mean, he fought until the very last bullet, which was absolutely true. Then he started throwing his helmet at prototypes. So he contributed a lot, and that's why I gotta say that he was a really great aspect of the Hong Kong battle. Okay, that's before the Dinobots came about. Number 4 is Hong Kong, and the fact that the third act of the film takes place in Hong Kong. It takes place in the city of Hong Kong and a little bit in various parts of China, for example, the Wulong Karst Geological Park, and also in Beijing. Now, this is great because it puts the movie on a more global level, because in the previous 3 films, I mean, we've seen a lot of American cities such as Detroit, Chicago, LA. We see Chicago as Chicago, but we have a lot of the other cities stand in for Chicago. For example, Detroit and LA. Detroit and LA and Universal Backlot actually stood in for Mission City, which is actually a fictional city. And we have actually seen Shanghai in Revenge of the Fallen, but that actually wasn't Shanghai. That was just they dressed it up as Shanghai, but it wasn't actually shot on location in Shanghai. And then we saw a little bit of Hong Kong in Dark of the Moon in an exterior shot. But overall, the most unique locations that they've ever shot at is Hong Kong and also Egypt, which I thought was really, really cool for Revenge of the Fallen. But to take it to Hong Kong, one of my favorite cities to visit, I thought that was great. And that was a sequence that I was really looking forward to. So it was really cool that they had the final battle in Hong Kong, even though a huge majority of it, a huge chunk of it, was actually filmed in Detroit. Number 3 is a great villain. I think the best villain in all of the Transformers live action franchise, and that would be Lockdown. Lockdown is a great villain, not only because he is He possesses a lot of great villain qualities, but he's so unpredictable. I mean, he comes out of nowhere with his ship, but not only that, he transforms into a cool alt mode, a Lamborghini, okay? And he has no affiliations with the Decepticons or the prototypes. He has a thing going on with Cemetery Wind, but other than that, he can turn on Cemetery Wind at any moment. Mainly because, he doesn't care about humans. He just wants one thing, and that is Optimus Prime. And he's actually quite a formidable opponent against Optimus Prime. I mean, he owned Optimus Prime. He pretty much won the fight against Optimus Prime until reinforcements came, alright? So Lockdown is awesome, and I think he's the best villain in the entire Transformers live action universe, okay? Number 2, the second thing that I love about Transformers Age of Extinction is the inclusion of the Dinobots. The Dinobots are a fan favorite, and originally, when there was talk of Dinobots being included in Revenge of the Fallen, okay, not that it ever happened, but there was talk about it happening, just from fan speculation. I was thinking, no, that wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work, okay? But, now that they put them in Transformers Age of Extinction, I love how they did it. It worked. It worked 100%, but we didn't see enough of them. I like them so much that I wanted to see them more, okay? So, it was unfortunate that we didn't get to see a whole lot of the Dinobots. I mean, they did only come as the backup, like the cavalry, but after they were done doing what they did, they were totally overpowered, and then they were gone. They basically roamed their way back into China or wherever the heck they went, and then that was it. All right, we didn't get to see them fight in their robot modes. I mean, it would have been cool to see them transform in and out, but you know what? They were cool for them for all what they've done. Okay, I would have liked to see a lot more, a heck of a lot more, but for what they gave us, you know what? I was borderline content with it. Number 1, I think you guys already know what it is. I've already mentioned this time and time again. Autobots Reunited. Okay, I love the Arrival to Earth sequence from the first movie, but Autobots Reunited was something very, very special. Something that's I felt was missing from the Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon. There was no reunite scene there was no scene that was very powerful and magical as the Arrival to Earth. So now they gave us Autobots Reunited, and wow, that was like, hearing that music, the score from Steve Jablonsky, seeing the Autobots come together, just the reunion of the Autobots, and to top things off, you see Optimus get his new alt mode. And of course the Autobot emblem appearing on Optimus Prime's truck mode with the original transformation sound. Wow, I don't think that scene could get any better. Okay, it could get better if we saw actual transformations from the other guys, but other than that, I think this is a really, really well done scene that just gave me goosebumps all over. I mean, it made me applaud at the screen, okay? So there you have it. That is my top 10 list of things that I loved about Transformers Age of Extinction, alright? So, that's really all I got to say about this in this video. It is 2015 now. There's not a whole lot more to talk about other than the release of the toys, which I will be talking about soon. And I'll start a whole other web series about me reviewing the toys. But from this point on, there's not a whole lot more for me to talk about the movie. We've already seen it like a number of times. And the last thing I'm going to talk about in the final episode of TF4 Talk is my final thoughts. Okay, I'm not going to review the movie. I'm going to talk about Transformers Age of Extinction as a whole. Okay, the experience. Okay, I'm talking about the Transformers Age of Extinction as an experience. All right, from beginning to end. Okay. That's all I got to say in this video. Stay tuned for that last episode, episode 27, and then we're going to move on to talk about a lot of other things. So make sure you're subscribed, because if you love Transformers, this is the channel to tune into. This is the channel to be staying subscribed to and to be watching, because we're going to talk about a lot of things, all right? There's a lot of other Transformers channels out there right now, but a lot of them just talk about the toys. They don't talk about anything else. Well, I'm going to talk about a lot more than just the toys, okay? And that is why you want to stay subscribed to this channel. And that's all I got to say. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. and also incorporate regular cameras. One of them would be Christopher Nolan, all right? You don't even notice the aspect ratio changing